Hey guys, just wanted to do my review of Supergirl Season 3, Episode 5, Damages. So this is an episode where a string of children, including one of Ruby's friends from school, are starting being hospitalized for lead poisoning. And it turns out at Morgan Edge takes the opportunity to come back into the picture and show up at the Luther Children's Hospital in National City, pointing the finger at Lena because of the fact that and trying to make and saying that well, she did release a lead bomb to combat the Daxamite invasion, that she's responsible for it, and so the press starts to, and so Lena's horrified at the possibility that it might have, even though she tried to weaponize it to scare off the Daxamite, she's not feeling too confident about the fact that maybe she could have been responsible for this. Maybe because she had to redesign it it was one of Lex Luthor's devices, and it was originally supposed to emit kryptonite that she didn't really recalibrate it enough that wouldn't be harmful to humans. And I figure, you gotta have some kind of you figure lead poisoning really is a thing, and you would think it would have some kind of consequence for that, but it gets to the point where she wants to, Lena wants to step out of the public light, have Jimmy take over and do the heavy lifting like he was doing before she bought Catco, and basically hiding out at Samantha's house because of the fact that she can't face the public, and now she's drinking away her sorrows, feeling like she's like a failure and failed to do any kind of good. And so it's up to Kara and Sam to go investigate it, and they eventually find out that they actually just, and Kara is starting to investigate further, especially when Wynn is at the DEO retesting the device. It turns out instead of there was I guess like a 89 like a 90 or 89% chance effectiveness rate, or a working. So there's a possibility. So that does raise a possibility that it could have had side effects. But then they ended up following. I don't remember. I think they followed a lead to a children's pool, or at least a public swimming pool, where there's a place called, I guess, Ace Chemicals has been throwing. It's putting it, or at least there's this chemical that's being put into the pool that reacts to the chlorine that mimics symptoms of lead poisoning. And it turns out, of course, it was a subsidiary of Edge Global. And when something that Lena knows about but doesn't say anything to Kara and Sam when they let her know about it, because she decides that to go to Edge Global and confront Morgan Edge himself and point a gun at him, ready to just kill him right then and there. Which seems a little bit extreme. I don't know. It seemed a little bit extreme. I know they're trying to I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that was enough motivation, at least from my personal opinion, enough to just, I don't know, I guess drive her over the edge, or maybe just kind of, or display this kind of temper, or this level of anger that she would want to play judge and jury. But the whole thing is rendered moot when Morgan Edge puts her on his plane that's about to crash with all the chemicals and put into the reservoir. But of course Supergirl is able to get to the distress call. The DEO was monitoring it and picked up on, and Kara recognized Lena's voice before Morgan Edge and his flunky kind of cut off the distress call and goes to a rescue, and the plane splits in half, in which where she has to where Supergirl has to choose between letting go of the other half of the plane as the chemicals are being dropped into the reservoir, and the and then the other half of the plane where Lena's still on board, and she tells Supergirl just let her go, just don't let the chemicals drop into the reservoir or some body of water. It was kind of like a clunky scene, but Lena eventually climbs up to Supergirl's arm, and that half of the plane drops down, and it was weird because how he engineered the plane to crash. Like, it just all of a sudden it was just like, it didn't seem like there was no indication that he rigged it with a bomb or anything. It just seemed to start like the propeller started to explode, and just all of a sudden just like kind of split in half like that. And he told, and then he had I guess the guy working for Edge like shoot the control panels, and then Morgan Edge took the gun, put like a cloth around it just to make sure he didn't get his fingerprints on it, and shoots the soldier to make it look like a suicide before he drives off. And like I mean, here's the thing about it. It was just kind of like a really just weird, just hokey little scene, and Morgan is becoming kind of a mixed bag. I mean, I like the fact the actor is like, is like hamming it up, and enjoys being a bad guy. But it'd be nice to know like a little bit more of like his motivation, because it's like he has the potential to be better than Maxwell Lord, who I thought, even though he had his motivations, was completely bland and uninteresting in spite of it. But it's like, it would be nice to get his motivations as in addition to having the actor just kind of ham it up. And naturally, this is also the same episode in which Alex and Maggie finally call it off. And I was interested in the fact I guess it kind of shook up my expectations, because I thought that was just something they would say for like the very end of the episode. They broke up within like the first 5 minutes, and it was their whole subplot was juxtaposed with the A plot, in which they basically, Maggie was moving out, but then they were like having a bottle of liquor, and they had like just drunken breakup sex, and I guess Maggie was trying to convince Alex that she didn't want to leave, she wanted to stay like in the relationship, but it's like Alex was firm about it, and it was as heartbreaking as it was for them both that she still wanted kids. And Maggie just packed up her stuff and left, and said she was going to stay with a friend until she finds her own place. And I'll give them credit; they really did act the hell. Both of those actresses really gave it their all and acted the hell out of this arc. That did carry some emotion. The breakup did carry some emotional weight. More so than I would have expected, considering I just thought when Maggie was being like so reluctant to have kids, it would actually be a breaking point for them. And then as opposed to the kid drama being an issue with Felicity, which was poorly handled as well, in addition to that entire relationship as a whole. But that's a whole other story. But I don't know. I just felt like I thought it was enjoyable enough just from like the performances alone, and feeling like a more sisterly bond between Lena and Kara and Samantha, that and I even like the moment where I think Lena and Jimmy are now like on a first name basis, especially since Jimmy took a bullet for Lena when somebody tried to assassinate her during when she's trying to give a public speech about the whole thing. And the fact that so they're kind of like, they kind of broke the ice between them, and they're on a first name basis. And I don't know, now it might seem like it seemed like the first instinct is it's a CW show, so they're going to go through the whole like relationship route, maybe. Um, and then I guess there's also the fact, the Supergirl confronting Edge, saying that he's onto his bull crap, even though he can't prove it, and also at the end where Ruby points out that Sam has a hole in her shirt, and when she sees the hole, she takes off her jacket. She sees like a bent bullet um, fall out of the jacket, and then she realizes that it was a bullet hole, and she realizes that she got shot during the assassination attempt, but the bullet didn't penetrate her skin. She's become invulnerable, and then she realizes it, and then she starts to realize, okay, maybe I do have powers, especially. And they also do mention the fact that Sam was adopted just like Kara. So it'll be interesting to see where her storyline goes. Like they're going to be a lot of teases, even though there was like a show Odette Annabelle in the Rain costume released online. So she's supposed to become a villain during, I guess, like the during the mid-season finale for this. And there's also Kara taking Alex back to Midvale just so they can get some, help Alex recover from the breakup, and then we're going to get more of, I guess, their backstory as when they were kids. So that would be cool to see that next week. So I don't know. It wasn't. I think it's one of like the weaker episodes this season. It was a little bit subpar, but not as. I don't know if I would say it was as bad as say the season premiere. But how do you guys feel about it? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Wish this had more consequences about the lead bomb, but can't have everything, right? But again, I'm gonna be putting up. Check out my other reviews, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.